Coming into the course, I felt very nervous because the big bad rumor around school was that this was the most difficult course to pass. I felt terrified due to the stories that I've heard before, because they're saying that the writing course is usually the hardest course and they have a high failure rate. So, in knowing that my writing will be put under scrutiny, I felt really pressured. But after going through the course, it was good.
Coming into Toni, I felt a bit anxious because of all the rumors I was hearing about it. Like it had a high fail rate, and yeah, everybody thought it was the spawn of the devil or something. It was a really difficult course.
Well, persons told me that hey, it's gonna be like really hard. Some persons even mentioned that they stopped doing the course halfway through because it was just too much. But then I was like, how hard can it be? It's English.
It was awful. It was terrible. I heard it was terrible, and they were not lying. So it's a pretty difficult course, and that's coming from someone who did well in the course, so to speak.
Well, the course did make me feel stressed out. Felt like I would give up at one point, but I need my GPA to stay up and the grade, so I pushed myself. Even when I got comments that would make me feel like just giving up, I cried, got it over, start again, and pushed myself to complete the course, and I did.
Before, my writing was pretty simple. Like, as I got an idea, I would just write it as I went along and just make it up as it happened. However, during the course and afterwards, I tried to have more of a system towards it. Like, I really plot out what it is that I want to do first, put it into categories, and then actually expand on those different categories. And it actually has improved my writing style.
Before the course, my writing, I would say, was average. But after going through that process with this course, I felt that I was better able to write. I learned how to source and how to organize my essays in a logical manner. And basically I felt that my writing has improved based on what I went through during the course.
Well, before FD10A, I would consider myself to be a goodish writer, but during it actually made me see that I wasn't that good, because it made me see that I wasn't very structured in my writing. I mean, I would write a good essay, but it wasn't very structured, especially for academic purposes. And afterwards, I actually found that I wrote more specific to the topic maybe, or in a more structured manner, like my thoughts and everything, how I structured it, outlined and everything. I think that the course did help me with putting everything together.
I expected this course to be a bit of a challenge. I expected it to be the hardest course that I'd probably do in my first year at university. And it was a bit of a challenge. It wasn't as bad as everyone made it out to be.
So I kind of disregard what I heard, about it being really hard. I just figured it would be a lot of writing and reading, as usual, but really hard, no.
I completely underestimated how much I need to read for my degree. I did not expect to be doing so much reading. Well, I did not know how to write for an academic audience, because coming into the university, even though you went through CAVE and stuff, you normally write stories, but you did not know how to write for that different level. You're in the university, so you need to know how to write for the academic sphere. So I didn't know that. So that was not a misconception, but a not knowing how to.
Don't go into the course, expecting it to be a breeze. Expect to be writing a lot, and also if you're going to be writing a lot, you need to read a lot. Also, read from different sources. Be informed, stay current.
I learned how to cite sources properly, whether it is a book or a newspaper. That was actually very important to me.
Plagiarism is not acceptable in the university especially, and making sure that everything that you do has a source, even if it's a quotation, even if it's something, a sentence, you have to have your sourcing.
In my major, I'm going to have to do quite a few essays, so I'm sure it's important to learn how to cite and properly reference your sources.
In my career, I'm doing computing, and the world of computing is ever growing. No, I wouldn't want to be, like for instance, in the future in an organization, if I'm preparing something for my boss, I wouldn't want to be citing something that's, probably all the way from 1995, but something that's current. So analyzing my sources, see when the piece was written, or what year was taken from, is best. Staying current.
I think that the skills that I've acquired from FB10A so far, it would help me in my career as a PR manager, especially when it comes to writing, for example, press releases, news articles, and so forth. Maybe even when it comes to a board meeting, it helped me to structure my thoughts and be able to present it in a professional manner. So I definitely know.
I did not know how to source properly. So plagiarism is a big thing for the university. So if you plagiarize, you'll be getting expelled, and other universities might not want to take you in because you didn't give credit to other writers. So sourcing was a big thing for me. Going forward, having gone through this course, it has helped me to think critically and to even write, can I say critically too? Because then you know what to expect and how to write for an academic art audience. So it teaches me how to think and how to write critically.
My advice to future students of the course is to choose a topic that you're interested in. Because when you're interested in a particular topic, you will want to do research about it so that you can learn and that you can write about it so all persons can learn from the paper. So if you choose a topic that you're interested in, then your essay should be okay. You follow all the instructions from the lecturer, and your topic is interested to you, then you should be fine.
I would advise them to attend every single consultation that they can attend. I would advise them to start their assignments as soon as they get it. Don't let it pile up, because then you'll get frustrated and overwhelmed. And ask all the questions that you need to ask. Clarity is very important.
Writing is definitely a process, and proofreading and first drafts and looking over what you did prior to handing in a finished document is very important.
Whenever you write a piece, let it sit for a day or so, and then go back and read it again, because you will always find something, find a mistake or something. The first draft is never good enough.
I'll write something this minute and it sounds okay, and then I read it over the next day and I'm like, what was I writing? And then there's a lot of errors I have to fix and stuff. So I would say one lesson to learn, and I will never forget, always proofread your work and never submit your first draft.
My lecturer constantly reminded me not to only quote what the source says, but to also use my voice. Not in the way that I'd be giving my opinion, but to explain what I understand from what the source or the information is saying.
So, so some of the mistakes that I made in that course, when I had pieces that needed to correct, I would leave them for Thursday evening, because I had class on Friday. I would leave them until Thursday or Friday morning before class. So I would end up not correcting all of my mistakes and then handing in the next paper with the past mistakes. So you need to always just, once you get back your paper with the mistakes that you've made, go ahead and correct them. Don't wait until the last minute.
Well, the consultation actually for me, it was very helpful. It actually gave me a chance to be one-on-one with my lecturer and actually be able to say, this is where I'm going, to show them what I'm actually doing and for them to give me pointers. It was very helpful, especially when doing the essays, like the final essays. course, we were actually given pointers as we go along. This is where you're going, no, you're going in the wrong direction. So that definitely helped.
To pass, what it took to pass, of course, a lot of determination. As I said before, you need to read, stay informed, stay current. And also, I would say attending all the classes and attending the consultations, because the consultations are very important. You know, that's where you go to that's like, I would say that's like your free card at getting, you know, the correction before you actually hand in your assignment. You know, so consultations, attending all the classes, also reading the lectures, because lectures can sometimes have some very important points in them.
That's nice. So it took me actually getting up and doing the work on time, making sure it's given in and everything. So that was for me something actually I can actually pinpoint to, that I had to get up and do the work and not just lay back. Like maybe in high school you would be very laid back and say, oh, I can do it another time, or I can, no. For this course, it's definitely no procrastination and actually doing the work. If you don't do it, you won't. Simple.
Well, the instruction that was given, if you follow those instructions properly, if you visit office hours and get feedback on your work, if you do your work on time, and also if you submit every single thing that is required to be submitted on time. Yes.
Fast, it took lots of sleepless nights, few tears. It took being very persistent and remembering that this is being paid for, so I need to pass. After leaving the course, I definitely feel more comfortable doing other courses because I have a strong foundation of FD10A.
No, seriously, the course stressed me out. Seriously, no, I'm not going to tell no lie, the course stressed me out. Because I would usually meet with my friends and say, oh, geez, I wish I could drop this course now, you know? But, you know, I was like, I'm halfway through it, might as well just do it, you know? But it was really stressing. Like every week you had an assignment to do, you know? It's like a course that you have to do by yourself. And it's a foundation course, but don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. Just put out your best and, you know, do it pass.
Thank you.
No problem.